Hey everybody, since Chloe was asking about the Telling the Time activity book, I thought I'd just take the opportunity to go live to talk about the books that we have about telling the time. So the first one that we have for the youngest age child is this one, Telling the Time. And it's got this cutout clock with hands that move right here so that they can learn how to do that. And it's a pretty simple book. It's by Stephen Cartwright, who every book he illustrates has a duck hidden somewhere, so it's extra fun for kids as they're looking through it. So you can see the characters here. It's really cute animation. And the kids are learning how to tell the time, so you're learning how to do it with them. So it's 7 o'clock, so you can move the hands of the clock so that it says 7. And this one is very basic, so you can see now it's pointing at 8. Now she says it's 9 o'clock. So this is the very first one that your child would start with. The next one that they would move on to is this one. This is Lift the Flap Questions and Answers About Time. You can see it's got over 60 flaps to lift, and it's the who, what, where, when, why of time. So, and you can see that there's lots of flaps in here too. Let's see, like here's one, for example. So this gives them kind of a basic concept of what time is and why you're learning about it in the first place, which is always a good thing. Kids have a hard time with the concept of time early on, so this is a really great way to introduce them to it. Then we move on to how do you actually tell the time. This one's my favorite book for that, Lift the Flap Telling the Time. You can see there's over 125 flaps in this one, and it starts out with what's in this book. So there's a table of contents, so there's a good opportunity to teach them what that is in a book. And then over here, hey Amy, over here you can see Telling the Time. In this book, you're going to learn how to use the time, tell the time using 2 different methods. So you've got the analog, and then over here, let's see if I can, there's the flap. Hard to hold this and lift the flap at the same time. There we go. Okay, so you can see that you can lift the flaps there. And we've got the digital clock over here. So this is what this one looks like, telling the hours, and then it moves on to the half hours, quarter hours. You can see that there's all these great flaps to lift everywhere. It's a little dim lighting right here, so it's kind of hard to tell where to lift some of these. We haven't gotten quite this far yet in our study of time, but you can see that it moves on to digital clocks too. So it gives a really good overview of the basics of telling the time. And what I like to use this one with is this one right here, getting into our activity books. This is Wipe Clean Telling the Time. So what we do at home is we use this book, Lift the Flap Telling the Time, along with this one as their actual practice. So this comes with a dry erase marker, and you can see here they're practicing tracing the hands, and then they practice where the hands go on the hour, and then on the half hour, the quarter hour. It kind of shows going throughout the little monster's day, and it gives them lots of great practice. So again, this one is really good with this one. You like the first one a lot? Yeah, the first one is great. I do too. That's the one that my kids started on. Okay, and then we get to the one that Chloe was asking about. This is our newest one in the Telling the Time series, the Telling the Time activity book. And this one is by far the most advanced of all the ones that I've just shown you. So I'll flip through this so that you can see. Okay, so again, it starts off with what is telling the time. It's going to talk about how to use this book. So I'll just stop here for a second so you can see what it's going to tell your child about. You can see here it says give yourself a star from the sticker pages for each quiz you complete. So there are stickers that makes it interactive and fun. And see there's a lot on each page. You talk about morning and night. There's half past the hour again. And you can see that there are a lot of activities in this book, as the name would suggest. So this is even more great practice. And then it has these little quizzes in there too. And again, there's stickers at the back of the book that they can reward themselves for looking at these. My kids love these activity books. We've been working through the adding and subtracting activity book, and Caleb, my son, absolutely loves it. It really helps him to get interested because there's bright colors, you get to use stickers. It's a lot more interactive than most, handouts and worksheets and things like that. So it makes it fun. So there's that, and then at the very back, as I mentioned, there are quizzes, and then there are stickers. Let me show you the sticker page here. There we go. So really fun for kids.